What if the only thing standing between you and the experience of being pursued by the woman you want is a single shift in how you show up? One move most men never make because it feels counterintuitive, risky, and yes, a little forbidden. Not forbidden because it's toxic or manipulative, but because it breaks the unspoken rule most men have been trained to obey. Chase harder and prove yourself. Tonight, I'm going to hand you the exact technique that flips the dynamic without games, without begging, and without pretending to be someone you're not. You'll learn a way of carrying yourself that triggers her natural curiosity, activates her investment, and makes her step toward you because she wants to, not because you twisted her arm. Stay with me, because when you lock this in, you'll never again ask, "How do I make her like me?" You'll ask a better question: "How do I decide whether her pursuit deserves my attention?" You already know the pattern that kills attraction. You meet a woman who excites you, your imagination races ahead of reality, and suddenly your energy leans forward. You over-communicate, you over-explain, you over-give, and you over-pursue. Underneath all of that is anxiety, fear of losing the opportunity, and anxiety is the scent of scarcity. It tells her, you need her more than you need yourself. In attraction psychology, neediness isn't just unattractive. It short-circuits her ability to feel the tension and curiosity that lead to desire. The forbidden technique you're about to learn is the opposite of that reflex. It is the disciplined refusal to collapse into pursuit. It is the art of becoming the gravitational center she orbits, and it's built from principles validated by research in influence, behavioral science, and evolutionary psychology, as well as methods taught by some of the most referenced voices in the seduction space. Think of the scarcity principle from Cialdini's work on influence. Think of the power of variable reward in behavioral psychology. Think of preselection and mate choice copying from evolutionary research. Think of the frame control and push-pull dynamics popularized in classic seduction literature. We're not cherry-picking buzzwords. We are distilling timeless mechanisms into an ethical, repeatable way of being that makes her want to close the distance. Here's the simple definition, and then I'll build it out in depth. The forbidden technique is strategic self-scarcity anchored in an unshakable personal frame. Strategic self-scarcity means you calibrate your presence and attention so they remain valuable, not ubiquitous. Your time isn't a flood, it's a deep, clean spring. Your attention doesn't chase, it invites. Your interest is not a gift to be proven worthy of. It's a reality you embody, calm, certain, and selective. The unshakable frame means your internal world is organized around your mission, your standards, and your values. You don't collapse your identity into the momentary approval of any one person. Together, these two pillars create a vacuum that draws investment. Not because you're withholding to punish, but because you hold yourself as the prize, and prizes are scarce by nature. Ready to go deep? Good. Because I'll also give you specific lines, calibration moves, texting cadence shifts, and date structures that embody the technique without turning you into a robot or crossing the line into manipulation. Keep listening. It all stacks. First, we set the foundation. Your internal frame. Every technique fails if your inner state screams, "I'm insecure and I'm faking it." You don't need to be perfect. You need to be centered. A centered man's breath slows. His gestures are deliberate. His voice carries weight without force, and his eyes rest instead of scanning. These are dominance-calibrated signals, not aggressive, not performative, but grounded. Signals that behavioral researchers consistently link with perceived leadership and attractiveness. When you answer slowly, when you allow silences, when you choose your words like a craftsman, you're communicating abundance. Time isn't chasing you. You're choosing. Before you send a message, before you walk into a room, ask yourself one question. What am I a stand for? If the answer is vague, your frame will wobble, and wobble kills pursuit. Choose 3 non-negotiables that define your life right now. It could be excellence in your craft, ruthless honesty with yourself, and physical standards that keep you strong. When she picks up your energy, she should feel those pillars without you reciting them. That's the frame she evaluates. That's the frame she wants to be chosen by. Now we build strategic self-scarcity. Scarcity is not ghosting. It's not playing hard to get at random. It's being precise about the moments you advance and the moments you create space. In behavioral terms, desire heightens in the presence of uncertainty and anticipation. Think of variable reward. When outcomes are reliable but not guaranteed, the brain allocates more attention. The mistake men make is turning themselves into a predictable fire hose of validation. There's no anticipation, no variability, only constant availability. The technique flips that. Your attention becomes cyclical. You show clear intent, then you release. You lead decisively, then you let the moment breathe. Here's how that looks in practice without gimmicks. When you text her, you send clean, intentional messages and avoid quick-fire back and forths that escalate her power to control your schedule. If you're in the middle of deep work, you let the phone rest. When you reply, you bring warmth and direction. Tonight I'm locked in on a deadline. Thursday at 8, wine bar on 7th, I'll pick the table in the back. That message contains everything. Standards, scarcity of time, decision, and the implicit suggestion that your world has structure. You're not asking permission to enter her calendar, you're inviting her into your rhythm. Let's integrate a principle from classic seduction literature, preselection. You never brag about women. You signal that women of quality enjoy your presence by the way you move through social environments and the way you speak about feminine energy. A man who has options doesn't rush. He also doesn't flinch when an option declines. That calm neutrality is the subtext of scarcity, and it's a real byproduct of a rich life. If you have no mission, no brotherhood, no physical rigor, your scarcity will feel like a mask. But if you're invested in your mission, if your social world is alive, if your standards are embodied, your scarcity is simply the truth. There's only one of you, and your time is a limited resource. Women intuit this in seconds. When you live it, the technique is effortless. There's a sequence I teach called signal, invite, withdraw, re-engage. You'll hear me refer to it several times because it's the engine behind her pursuit. Signal, you deliver a concise, confident expression of interest. No compliments on her body, no pedestal statements, no vague emojis. Invite, you propose a time and place, you lead, you cut the negotiation in half. Withdraw, after you've led, you step back. Not with coldness, simply with presence elsewhere in your life. Re-engage. If she invests, you reward that investment with warmth and momentum. If she doesn't invest, you don't flood the space. That vacuum teaches her exactly how to engage you. This sequence aligns with influence principles because it harnesses commitment and consistency. When she invests with a yes or even with curiosity, you give her a clear next step and you keep that rhythm lean. The variable, the uncertainty, isn't whether you like her, it's that you're not waiting on her. Your train is moving. She can step on, but you won't stop the whole schedule to convince her the ride is worth it. Conversation is where men typically hemorrhage value. They think attraction is built by explaining themselves, interrogating her, or trying to be interesting with random facts. The forbidden technique removes that pressure. Your conversational stance is simple: statements over questions, curiosity over approval, contrasts over monologues. A statement like, "I like women who are playful and direct." It keeps things clean, positions you as the chooser. A contrast like, "I can spend a week in absolute silence when I'm building and then go full throttle with friends on Saturday," creates texture, scarcity in an emotional sense. You are not one-dimensional. Her mind will begin completing the picture, and that completion process is pursuit. When she asks, "What do you mean by playful?" you don't lecture. You give one sharp example and you pause. She fills the silence because she wants to align with your frame or test it. Either way, the energy is chasing you. Your voice is a carrier wave for this entire technique. Muscular tone is less about depth and more about control. Slow down. Clip your sentences at key points and let the last word hang. Master micro-pauses. These micro-pauses are like visual scarcity. You're rationing your words. You're not spilling. When she cracks a joke, you don't scramble to match it. You let the smile spread slowly, then you respond with a line that threads challenge and warmth. Careful, you're auditioning for trouble. That's push-pull calibrated, an invitation wrapped in a boundary. Push-pull works not because it confuses her, but because it gives her something to lean into. Humans seek equilibrium. If you supply a bit of distance after warmth, she moves to close it. If you supply a bit of warmth after distance, she relaxes and invests. The mistake is making the distance cold or punitive. Keep it playful, keep it light, keep it real. Let's bring in the concept of boundaries. the stoic backbone of attraction. Boundary is not a wall, it's a doorway with a frame. I don't text when I'm training. I'll get back to you after 8. That line isn't a flex, it's clarity. If she pushes that frame, double texting while you're in a session, you don't scold. You demonstrate consistency by responding after training with a smile and picking up the thread. Over time, your consistency imprints. She understands she can't hijack your rhythm, and that makes your attention more valuable. In attachment terms, you're secure. You approach and you retreat without drama. The anxious avoidant loop collapses when one person is grounded. Be that person. Your groundedness is part of the forbidden technique because it makes your scarcity safe rather than threatening. She can lean in without fearing chaos. Date design is another lever for this technique. The first date should be simple, directional, and time-bound. A short coffee walk that turns into a wine stop if the vibe is right. You lead transitions. You don't wait for her to make calls. You're not seeking permission, you're offering a path. Plan a moment of micro-scarcity during the date. Step away for 60 seconds to take a quick call you had scheduled, then return fully. This isn't a performance. It's a signal that your life doesn't freeze around her. When you return, you laser focus. That contrast is powerful. She experiences both your independence and your full presence. Presence is essential. Strategic self-scarcity without presence is just distance. Presence without scarcity is over-availability. The balance is the win. Now texting. Here's the rule. Texting is for logistics and light sparks, not your full personality. Long text threads flatten polarity. They move you from embodied experience to digital dependency. If she tries to pull you into constant texting, you redirect with warmth. I like this. Let's save the good stuff for when I can actually see your eyes. Thursday still works. When you do text spontaneously, use it to thread a private language. A callback to something you teased on the date, a short line that reactivates a shared laugh. Then you retreat. The retreat is where most men break. They send another message to get a dopamine hit. You won't. You close the loop with the confidence that silence can breathe. This single discipline makes her chase. It gives her space to invest. It invites her to wonder what you're doing because your life is full and self-directed. Let's add a powerful frame move: selective vulnerability. Scarcity doesn't mean you're emotionally armored. You reveal strategically. You disclose a challenge you're working on, not from a place of seeking comfort, but from a place of ownership. I'm rebuilding my focus after spreading myself thin this year. It feels good to eliminate the noise. She hears honesty without collapse. That signals leadership. Leadership, by the way, is one of the most consistent attractors across studies of mate preference. A leader isn't loud, he's directional. When you reveal selectively, you differentiate yourself from the stereotype of the emotionally unavailable man. You become rare, a man who's open but not porous, warm but not needy, strong but not rigid. Rare equals valuable. Valuable equals pursued. Let's talk about preselection in a way that stays tasteful. You never parade female attention, but you can position yourself in environments where your social value is visible. Mixed group events, charity nights, art openings, boutique fitness classes, spaces where your demeanor can be observed interacting with others. When she sees other people, women and men, naturally drawn to your calm, your humor, your presence, her mirror neurons fire and the evaluation shifts. It's not, is he attractive? It's, how do I align with the man other people trust? That's mate choice copying embedded in real life. Again, you're not staging anything. You're choosing environments where your strengths broadcast with minimal effort. If she's there, great. If she's not, your social energy still compounds. Either way, your scarcity stays honest. Now, I want you to internalize a sentence that will change your posture instantly. I pursue my standards, not people. Let that line sit. When you live by it, you stop chasing any one woman. You chase your standard of connection, playful honesty, feminine warmth, mutual pursuit, respect for each other's time. If she isn't moving toward that standard, you don't fight gravity. You release. This release isn't a tactic to make her come back, it's your sanity. Ironically, the clean release often triggers pursuit, because you're not trying to manufacture a result. You're protecting the frame. She'll feel the difference immediately. A man who can let go fully is magnetic, because he's not bargaining with reality. That's the stoic advantage in attraction. Let's sharpen your language. When she tests you, because tests are part of the dance, You respond with playful truth instead of compliance. If she says, "Why didn't you text me all day?" You say, "Because when I'm building, I'm unavailable. I like missing you a little. It makes the hello sharper." That answer is warmth plus boundary plus reframe. It turns a complaint into a flirt. If she says, "All guys just want attention," you smile and say, "I want alignment and chemistry." Attention is easy. Alignment is rare. You're not defending yourself. You're asserting a selection criterion. That is irresistible to the right woman. She leans in to see whether she qualifies, and that subtle shift is pursuit. Now, caution. Anything powerful can be misused. Do not use scarcity to punish or to create anxiety. If you withhold affection as a weapon, you will train her nervous system to associate you with stress. That might create short-term chasing behavior, but it degrades trust and destroys long-term desire. Strategic self-scarcity should feel like the rhythm of a healthy breath. Inhale, exhale. Warmth, space, presence, independence. If she is securely attached and emotionally mature, she will meet you there. If she is anxiously attached and you sense distress, increase reassurance while maintaining your boundaries. A grounded text like, "You're safe with me. I'm focused today and excited to see you tomorrow," is both masculine and compassionate. Masculinity without compassion is brittle. Compassion without masculinity is shapeless. You want both. What about recovery if you already chase too hard? You can reset the frame. First, withdraw without drama. Your messages become lean. Your calls stop unless they're scheduled. You invest your energy back into your mission, your training, your social world. Then, when you re-engage, you do it with direction. "I'm heading to the new jazz spot Friday at 9. Join for a drink if you want a good story." No apology monologues, no "I've been busy" excuses. You simply present the new rhythm. She will either align or drift. Both outcomes protect your self-respect. And paradoxically, that reset often reignites her interest because the man she wanted to meet shows up, a man with a spine. Let's layer in the sensual dimension without being crude. Presence is physical. When you stand, lengthen your spine, drop your shoulders, and feel your weight in your feet. Your eye contact should be steady but soft. Hold, then glance away, then return. Your touch should be calibrated to context and consent. Light, slow, brief. Scarcity applies here as well. Too much touch too soon dilutes its value. Too little touch when the moment is ripe creates frustration. The sweet spot is earned. You don't ask, "Can I kiss you?" as a plea. You lead with confidence and you stay exquisitely attuned. If she leans in, you advance. If she freezes, you pull back with a smile and redirect the vibe. Mastering that calibration marks you as safe and strong. Safe and strong is rare. Rare is pursued. I want to give you a retention anchor, a promise I made at the start. I told you I'd hand you the exact sentence that flips the dynamic in text and in person. Here it is. "I like women who meet me halfway." That sentence, delivered calmly, is a mirror. It's hard for the wrong woman and electrifying for the right one. It implies you're not here to perform, to entertain, or to fill an emotional void. You're here to co-create tension and delight. When she invests, initiates a message, suggests a plan, brings you into her world, you reward that investment with warmth. "I noticed that. I like your initiative." Positive reinforcement matters. In behavioral terms, you anchor the behaviors you want to see instead of feeding the ones you don't. Let's talk about the micro moments that make her chase without you lifting a finger. The way you end the date first, while the energy is still high. You stand, you smile, you hold her eyes, and you say, "Keep that mischief for Thursday." Then you leave. That last line creates an open loop and a time anchor. Or the way you answer a compliment. If she says, "You're different," you don't deflect or overqualify. You say, "I know it's deliberate." That short response is a masterclass in frame. It implies you've chosen your difference, not stumbled into it. She'll want to understand the design. That curiosity is pursuit. Common objections deserve clean responses. Isn't this manipulative? No. Manipulation hides the truth to control someone. The forbidden technique exposes the truth of your priorities and your standards, and invites a woman to step into it voluntarily. What if she loses interest because I'm not chasing? Then she wasn't aligned. You didn't lose anything. Your energy is finite. You invest it where it compounds. What if I'm naturally expressive and warm? Keep your warmth. Just pair it with boundaries. Scarcity isn't coldness, it's selectivity. What if I get nervous and start over-texting? Install friction. Draft the text, wait 15 minutes, read it aloud, cut it in half. Then send only if it still aligns with your frame. Now, let's integrate an advanced layer, identity-based attraction. You aren't just acting scarce, you are becoming a man whose time is scarce because his life is rich. Your morning begins with a ritual that stabilizes your nervous system. Breath, movement, stillness. Your daytime is carved by priorities, not notifications. Your evenings rotate intentionally between solitude, brotherhood, and pursuit. You keep your word to yourself. You speak directly. You let your yes be yes and your no be no. This identity radiates through everything you do. Women chase experiences, not checklists. They chase feelings, not bullet points. The feeling of being around a man who is both deeply present and fundamentally untamed by the constant pull of convenience is rare. She will move toward it because it makes her more of herself in your presence. I want you to hear this as a mandate, not a suggestion. Refuse to negotiate your self-respect. If a woman is indifferent, flaky, or disrespectful, your reaction is not to chase harder. It's to step back and let the world teach its own lessons. Your self-respect is the spine of your attractiveness. When you fold it, you become a commodity. When you hold it, you become a category of one. This is not anger, it's order. Order is masculine. Order creates safety. Safety invites surrender. Surrender creates polarity. Polarity fuels pursuit. A quick word on humor. Dry, understated humor paired with strategic scarcity is explosive. Tease lightly about a trait she's proud of, then compliment the substance behind it. Your trouble in heels. Fortunately, I like women who can back it up with substance. That's a soft challenge, then a hook. After she laughs and qualifies, you let the moment rest. The rest is the rare part. Most men fill every pocket of silence. You won't. Your comfort with space becomes the canvas for connection. If you want a single-day reset to embody this technique, do this tomorrow. Wake early, train your body hard enough to sweat, sit in stillness for 10 minutes, then choose one task that moves your mission forward and complete it before noon. In the afternoon, unplug from your phone for 2 hours and do something tactile. Cook, lift, fix, build right by hand. In the evening, connect with a friend in person. Throughout the day, speak slowly. When you pick up your phone to text her, ask, "Am I adding value or asking for reassurance?" If it's reassurance, delete. If it's value, send. If she texts you, reply when you're truly present. If she suggests a time that collides with your priorities, offer an alternative rather than collapsing. That one day becomes a reference experience. Your nervous system learns that your life is bigger than any single interaction. From that day forward, scarcity feels natural because it's rooted in reality. We'll close the loop on the deepest truth here. The forbidden technique only works because it aligns with how genuine attraction blossoms. Desire needs room. Mystery needs oxygen. Respect needs boundaries. The man who embodies strategic self-scarcity with an unshakable frame gives all three before a word is spoken. He signals. He invites. He withdraws. He re-engages. He rewards investment and walks when alignment isn't there. He is warm, selective, and irresistibly alive. Women don't chase him because he withholds. They chase him because being near him feels like stepping into a current that moves forward, clean, focused, and free. And the more you live that current, the more natural this all becomes. You're not trying to get her attention. You're directing your attention like a king, and kings are approached. So here's your call to action. For the next 7 days, calibrate your presence. Speak 30% slower. Cut your texting in half. Lead the plan with clear times and places. End interactions first while the energy is high. Praise investment when it shows up. Keep training your body, guard your mission, and hold the sentence on your tongue like a coin you only spend when it counts. I like women who meet me halfway. You'll feel the shift. She'll feel it too. And when she does, don't be surprised when she's the one who reaches out, suggests the plan, brings you into her world, and looks at you with that spark that says, "I want to earn my place in your life." That's the technique. It's forbidden only to the part of you that's addicted to chasing. Let that part rest. Stand tall. Lead. Create space. and watch what she does with it.